Oh, oh, hey, what's up, guys? Super Milesio here. I just woke up, as you saw. Oh no, but really, I did just wake up a few minutes ago, a bit later than I normally do, but I was up late last night, and I seldom record videos right after I get up. But I thought we'd change it up a little bit, especially since I'm so excited to get into this next song. And what song is that, you ask? It's Big Red, the only song I've ever written where the title has two exclamation marks officially. Not this. That was kind of a later addition, but you go on YouTube or to the album, and you'll find those two exclamation marks. Why did I include two exclamation marks? Well, maybe I'll tell you in a little bit. It's a fun little Easter egg. But yeah, let me talk briefly about this song before we get into it. I'm wearing my big red shirt just for the occasion. This is the same shirt that I guess I didn't use it, but my sister used it for our Mario movie. Which at this point was almost 2 summers ago, which is nuts. Was it? Yeah, I think it was 2 summers ago. We need to make a sequel to that. We're thinking about it. It's hard to think of a concept. But I wore a green equivalent to this shirt as Luigi. Starting early with the sidetracks, but Big Red is a song that I wrote pretty quickly, and it was supposed to be a sort of follow-up to a song called Stop with an exclamation mark again. So we've added another one to the fray, another exclamation mark. Sort of a spiritual gospel-inspired song, but with one other notable inspiration that I'm going to mention in a minute. But first, let me show you the initial voice memo, which was just a spur-of-the-moment idea in my car, which first I feel like I should mention, fans of Jacob Collier may or may not have noticed a certain parallel, because in Jesse Volume 4, actually was released as a single, like before, I guess not as a single, but the music video was released before the album was, Little Blue. One of my favorite songs of his in general, but off that album as well. Guitar part of it's beautiful. It's really fun to play on the 5 string over there, wherever it is, right there. There's the 5 string. Really fun to play. And it's just a really nice song. It's very serene. But I thought, what would be the antithesis of Little Blue? Big Red, right? And I know blue and red might not be opposites on the color spectrum, but they are opposites in my mind, especially with the Nintendo Switch 2 coming out soon. Red and blue, I mean, come on. I'm very excited for that. But if Jacob can write songs about colors and size-related adjectives, then so can I. So I thought, Big Red, can I play with that? So I was in the car. This happens a lot, weirdly. I'll be in the car on the way to campus, my college campus, and as soon as I park, like before I head to class, I think of something, and I just jot it down real quick. So this was actually October of 2024, so October of last year, a few months ago, I recorded this on my phone, and I'm going to play it for you now.
Big Red, you can go away, you can take my hand for another day. Big Red,
So there you go. And again, like, that's pretty close to what we ended up with. Just that initial idea, I was hearing that, and that's kind of how Stop was as well. I just sort of had this random idea, and I went with it. But there is one other inspiration that I want to talk about. But first, I'm going to show you the Logic session, because I don't want to yap for too long here. So here we go. Boom. Here's the Logic session of Big Red. Mostly vocals, but there's quite a lot going on here, which is different than Stop. So there's more going on here. and more than just purely a cappella thing with some snaps. There's a little bit more, but we will get into all that in due time. Don't you worry. So let me show you the other inspiration for this song. I'm also a huge fan of James Taylor, which I hope you know by now. Huge inspiration to my music, which I hope is self-evident. But there's one song on an album of his called JT. It was an album in the late 70s, and it's one of those albums where like it's just banger after banger. I mean, a lot of his albums are like that, especially the earlier ones, but this one in particular, it's like you just can't go wrong with this album. So let me show you one song off of that called Traffic Jam. I love the simplicity of the album cover as well. It's just his lovely mug. So here we go. Here's Traffic Jam. I don't want this to get flagged. It probably will, but I'm just going to play you a little bit of this.
Damn this traffic jam, how I hate to be late. It hurts my motor to go so slow. Damn this traffic jam, time I get home my supper will be cold. Damn this traffic jam. Well, I left my...
And you get the idea. Oh, but then that's important too. There's this talking section.
About 5 o'clock, it took 15 minutes to go 3 blocks. Just in time to stand in line with the freeway looking like a parking lot. Damn!
So you get the idea. So there's a couple things in there. Gosh, this camera. What is wrong with you? It's been doing this a lot. Stop it, please. Focus on me. I'm the most important thing. There we go. There's a couple things in there that show up in this song. Of course, the constant like and the frequent like drum fills right before the verse, the speaking section in the middle, all of that sort of made it into this song. But also just the constant the talking, but then the intermittent, like the first word of each verse or each section, kind of each phrase gets a bunch of harmony, gets emphasized. So in his song it's damn this traffic jam. Later on that gets harmonized. That damn. In fact, I'll just play you a little bit of that. Might as well. We're already in for a penny.
This traffic jam, I don't want often mobile. Damn this traffic jam, how I hate to be late. It hurts my motor to go so slow. Damn this traffic jam.
Oh, wow. I don't listen to these songs a lot with headphones. I mostly listen to James Taylor in the car, but I need to just sit down and listen to those songs with headphones because there's a lot that I'm probably missing. That's really good. Anyways, let's move into our song, shall we? So you might feel it's a little familiar when we start this off, so here we go. Now let me stop right there. So my philosophy with this is just a slow build-up of different things. So we start off with just this, which is hip-hop snaps, which I use a lot. And I think there's probably real snaps going as well. Not all of you. Yeah, so... Oh, no, that's... What is that? Oh, why aren't you playing? Oh, because I fade in. Okay, whatever. There's the... There it is. So there's our snaps, and that's purely real snaps with some like sharp reverb. What is that reverb? Diffuse Hall. Are we on Diffuse Hall for all these? We might be. Yeah, so this is Diffuse Hall. A lot lower on reverb, but I did want something with some quick feedback. I used Diffuse Hall for Chalkboard, I think, and a few other things. But it's just very like sharp, quick feedback on that, like. So we got our snaps, and that's throughout. I mean, the snaps just proliferate throughout this entire song. Does that word mean what I think it means? Increase rapidly in numbers. No, that is not what I think it means. What do I mean? Propagate. Still no. Probably just sustain. Whatever. Comment a word that you think I should use for that. It is too early. And then what are these guys doing? After the snaps, this, I think, is just on the quarter notes. Oh, you can hear some of the other tracks in the background, since this was a fairly late addition. But of course it's looped. So that's just me going up to the mic. Which is an a cappella way of like kind of replicating maybe like, I don't know what instrument that would be. Kind of just almost like an EDM sound, like that classic I don't know the words to describe this. I don't usually do it EDM, but it's like the sort of that. That's kind of what I'm going for. What is this? So again, what I like is that it's all like percussion a cappella. That's kind of the one like way that I think I can shine as a percussionist, is when I can do it all a cappella. I don't play the drums, so I kind of just noodle or fool around and make noises on random objects like cans of LaCroix or similar brands. We've been lately getting this Belvive, I don't know how to pronounce that. It's all right. I mean, you might think sparkling water is sparkling water, and I'm here to tell you that's not the case. With that said, there's few brands that I just don't like, but there are certainly some that I like better than others. Waterloo is great. Bubbly, can't go wrong with that. Anyways, so we got that. What else do we have? But yeah, that's that classic like jazz hi-hat. Pretty easy. That's an interesting one. So we have one going on the strong beats. Let me play the metronome real quick. This one's more on the offbeat. So let's play those together. I think this is it. Oh, no, it's something else. Cute. Nope, still no. Why can't I find you? There you are. That took forever to kind of line up, but I think it really works wonders. This subsection is not anything. Why do I not have that? Let me just, real quick. I haven't done this in a long time since where is it? Oh, you're not going to let me do it? Why? There we go. No, do it, bro. Shift Command D. I'll remember that. Now we have a little subsection for this, so I can easily solo it. Great. So that's what we have, and I missed the one last thing, which is this water drop sound, which happens on every third beat, or every fourth beat, but on the third beat of the measure. And that's, of course, me doing that. I can't tell if that's good or not. Yeah, it's fine. I have headphones on, so I can't hear. Sometimes it doesn't come out. And then we have, wherever those drums are, I think it's you. They're going dum-ka-dum. Yeah, and that is, I couldn't tell you what these sounds are called, but it's that drum there, and then probably some sort of bass drum, and maybe that's a tom, I don't know, but it's in the orchestral kit, and so that comes in on the strong beats, or just moments when I want it to. And then there's one more piece that comes in, not just yet, we'll get to that in a sec. But yeah, so we have all of that adding in one after the other, excuse me, and that leads us into our first verse. So here we go.
Big red in my head weighs me down like a ton of lead.
I'm going to stop right there. Another thing, no pitch correction on this song. How about that? Whereas I think that's one of the things that really, despite the fact that I like this song better than Stop, I think this elevates it like way above Stop, is the fact that there's no pitch correction. Not just on principle, like if I need to use it, it's whatever. But it really does make it sound better. And that's something I haven't fully appreciated till now. and because it's been really hard for me to achieve that. It's only lately that I feel even halfway competent in doing that. But no pitch correction here. There's a lot of vary speed to play around with, like different sounds, different formants, which I will show you. And you might notice the whole song is pitched up. I guess now's a good time to talk about that. So I initially recorded this fully like this.
Big red in my head weighs me down like a ton of lead.
Which is an A flat major. But now, I thought the whole point of this song was to be kind of unsettling in a way. And so what better way to be unsettling than just throw your ear for a loop and give it like a half sharp quality to it. So it's in A, I guess A half flat. It's like a half semitone above A flat. So it's in between A flat and A. So yeah, I guess that is what you'd call that. And with different than G half sharp, which is kind of, it's a weird mind bending thing, but and also it makes it just a little faster. It gives it a little more energy, which I think it just kind of needed. I mean, barely, like a half a semitone. It's not increasing the speed that much, but it's just ever so subtle. But we will need to be tweaking vary speed throughout this video just so I can show you stuff. So I may or may not come back to this, and I might just play it in A flat, but we'll see. But yeah, officially the released version is in a half key. So there you go.
In my head weighs me down like a ton of lead.
So right now we have 5, count 'em, 5 separate vocal tracks going, so all singing the same thing, the melody. I just wanted that big sound, and again with no pitch correction, like they're not perfectly locked in, which just kind of adds to the sound. It doesn't have to be.
Big red in my head weighs me down like a ton of lead. Big red, you got dread to spread. I want patience, but I get you instead. Big red, that's what I said.
So yeah, I could nitpick like several notes there, like
Big red, that's
sharp,
that's what I said.
and that was kind of flat. But like all together, it doesn't really matter. It kind of creates this. Actually, what I think I might have done here, I can go here, which I think Control M, yeah. This did have pitch correction on it, so I recorded one track as a reference that was just dead on, so I could reference it.
Big red in my head weighs me down like a ton of lead. Big red, you got dread to spread. I want patience, but I get you instead. Big red, that's what I said.
And a previous version of myself would have done that for every track. Pitch correct it, lock it in, because it just bothers me when it's not. But the thing is, like, oh, and so I recorded all 5 of these on top of this, just so I had that as an anchor. And then at the end, I muted it. So all I had left was the pure ones, and that's what I did throughout. So you'll see that reference track throughout. But yeah, that's pretty much it. First verse, pretty simple, just all unison, which is cool. So here we go, let's move on.
But I get you instead. Big red, that's what I said.
And here we go. Here's the last piece here, which is just a bass. This is an acoustic bass, my Martin D Jr., which I mentioned last time. And it's recorded acoustically, so it's not plugged up, just straight up to the sound hole. It has quite a low boost on it, which is great. And here we go. I mean, isn't that just a great sound? It's really nice. And I chose to bring it in on the do-do-do, not on these first 2 beats. I just think it was better. It worked better if it sort of creeped in right here. So I have it. Do-do-do, ooh, 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 ooh. Yeah.
Red, go.
Yeah, so the bass comes in, and then I have this little what do I call it? This little background thing in between the 2 verses after the bass comes in. So we have that's what I said.
Big red, that's what I said.
Yeah, this might be, it's just one of my favorite little moments in here, and it's this. So yeah, we have so that just, they're just kind of like, it's a very subtle thing that you kind of hear in the background. Do do do. yeah, so that A flat there, or now A half flat, also goes throughout the entire song, which is pretty cool. So now we enter our second verse where things start to get a little more interesting. So let's take a listen to that.
Big Red, go away, you can save yourself for another day.
So this is pretty much true throughout. I have that same number of unison tracks just carrying the melody. So
Big Red, go away, you can save yourself for another day. Big Red, I need to be a role model, so get in the bottle and I'll close you in. Big Red, get out of my head.
yeah, so there we go. But then again, like kind of like that damn this traffic jam, on the things that I think are important, I emphasize it with some harmony.
Big Red,
And again,
Big Red.
that's not perfectly in tune. It doesn't have to be. It's just that's what it is. So we have
Big Red,
Big Red,
Big Red,
and
Big Red,
so that's what they're doing.
Big Red, Big Red, get out of my head,
Yeah.
out of my head.
I did still try and do some justly tuned stuff in there, despite the fact that there's no pitch correction. Let me just make sure I'm not talking out of my butt. And I just don't want to lie to you guys, but I was pretty dang sure there's no pitch correction. Yeah, there's not. And so yeah, there's that. And then the red ones are not like necessarily the strongest ones, like the ones on the beat. But they're just coming in with little extra decorations, like those sugary sprinkles that you put on sugar cookies. Yeah.
Big Red, go away, you can save yourself for another day.
Yeah, so that's one of the things I was hearing, which I sang in the voice memo. For another day. Is that a James Taylor thing too? I feel like it is. It's not coming to my head right now. Another day. Another day. Another day. I think it is. Why can't I think of it right now? It must be too early for my brain. But I think that's a James Taylor thing. At some point he says, another day. And so that's what I
You
did.
can save yourself for another day.
For another day.
For another day.
Pretty simple there.
So get in the bottle and I'll close you in.
So that's
Get in the bottle and I'll close you in. Big Red, get out of my head.
Yeah. That,
In the bottle and I'll close you in.
I think there's, and I'll close you in, and I'll close you in.
And I'll close you in.
Yeah.
And I'll close you in.
You can already hear some weirdness in
And I'll
there.
close you in.
I think I recorded some of these on very speed.
And I'll close you in.
And
And I'll close you in.
no, come on, give me the right ones.
And I'll close you in.
Oh, they're alternating.
And I'll close you in.
So those are
And I'll close you in.
probably normal.
And I'll close you in.
Yeah.
And I'll close you in.
So that's not my natural voice. It was probably recorded like here or something.
And I'll close you in.
It might have been even -2. Maybe one of them was and one of them wasn't.
And I'll close you in.
That's probably more like it.
And I'll close you in.
And I'll close you in. So then
And I'll close you in.
we get back to that, and it sounds a little distorted. I'll go ahead and bring it back up to 0.5, just to keep it consistent. Don't want to throw you for too much of a loop.
Big Red, get out of my head.
Yeah, so I really like that. Just ton of crunchy notes there.
Red, get out of my head.
Yeah, so then this is what I'm saying. I change up the drum fills a little bit every time, but pretty simple there. Yeah, and that's all MIDI. It's not like quantized or anything, so I did manually place it. I probably played it on my keyboard here, which I can't really plug in right now because like I said, I have a USB port that kind of crapped out, and I have too many things plugged in, unfortunately. This is my little D'Addario brand, I guess, finger strengthener. I actually feel like it's been doing wonders. I play the guitar, and it just feels like I can glide around and do hammer-ons like never before, and bar chords. So I've been just kind of, as a fidget thing, just as I'm sitting here, I kind of squeeze that, and it also It also strengthens the fingers, which is great. Try it out. It's good. But yeah, so I just sat here on my keyboard and just like, and there you go. And then we have our first little talking section in the middle, which very speed is going to be a key thing here. So
Every day Big Red gives me something new, and I ask what I'm supposed to do with all that sloth, envy, pride, and greed. Well, that's not what I need.
okay, this is a fun moment. Like, this was fun to record. It really was. I get right up to the mic because I want it to be like this super forward, like just almost like a whispery sound. Every day Big Red gives me something new. And so that's kind of what I did.
Every day Big Red gives me something new, and I ask what I'm supposed to do with all that sloth.
I think I have the lyrics here. So I wasn't sure exactly how to phrase this line. Every day Big Red gives me something new, and I ask what I'm supposed to do with all that sloth. Like, I could come up with a bunch of ways to phrase that, to spread it up, or to divide it up. But I just like this sort of almost like, whoa, what are we doing? We're trudging here. We're trudging through molasses, and like where I slow down and then I get right back on it just in time. And I ask what I'm supposed to do with all that sloth. So that's kind of what I did there.
What I'm supposed to do.
So if it's just, if you hear the beat, it's
It
like,
gives me something new, and I ask what I'm supposed to do with all that sloth, envy, pride.
yeah, so it's kind of like, come on, man, just come on, we got to get back on there. And so, yeah, that's not what I need. So I intentionally tried to say this a little different every time. So some of them like, that's not what I need.
Well, that's not what I need.
I need. And then
Well, that's not.
And then I did some that are just way lower.
Agreed. Well, that's not what I need.
Yeah, and so you end up with this weird cacophony of sound.
Greed. Well, that's not what I need.
So these are pretty normal, I think.
Big Red gives me something new, and I ask what I'm.
I think those are just my natural voice. These ones, on the other hand,
Every day Big Red gives me something new, and I ask what I'm supposed to do with all that sloth.
you're hearing a weird, like, alien quality to it. So here's one.
Every day Big Red gives me something new, and I ask what I'm supposed to do with all that.
This was probably harder because I had to record it at a faster speed.
Every day Big Red gives me something new, and I ask what I'm supposed to do with all that sloth, envy, pride, and greed. Well, that's not what I need.
So that's how I actually recorded it, and then I brought it back down.
Big Red gives me something new.
And then it sounds like that. This one is the opposite.
Every day Big Red gives me something new, and I ask what
I'm supposed to do with all that sloth, envy, pride, and greed.
Wow, so it was really lower. That's how I did.
Day Big Red gives me something new, and I ask what I'm supposed to do with all that sloth.
Yeah, and so I come back up.
Big Red gives me something new.
And I ask what I'm supposed to do with all that sloth, envy, pride, and greed. Well, that's not what I need.
Oh, and then I added even more here.
That's not what I need. That's not what I need.
Yeah, so again, wide variety here.
That's not what I need.
Yeah, so it's like I'm squeezing something there.
That's not what I need.
And that's like I'm just, yeah, like a more husky sort of.
Well, that's not what I need.
Oh, and then here we go. Let's go on with that. So we'll have more speaking verses in a little bit, but here we go.
Big Red boils my blood. Knock.
Oh, oops, I'm on minus 15 instead of plus 50. Get back up there, you little.
Knocks me down into the mud. Big Red creates the flood. We may be close, but we'll never be buds. Big Red gets me out of bed, yeah.
So not too divergent from the last verse.
Big Red boy.
There might be some more going on here, I think.
Big Red.
Yeah, so we've now got an octave doubled. Big Red. I don't think we had that last time. I think it was just a third and a fifth.
Big Red.
Yeah, and so now we have
Big Red.
Big Red.
Big Red.
Knocks me down into the mud.
Yeah, listen to that.
Knocks me down into the mud.
Yeah, knocks me down into the mud. So I already had it going pretty low here.
Knocks me
Oh
down.
no, that's an octave higher.
Knocks me down into the mud.
And I was like, anytime you sorry, anytime you sing about mud, I feel like you gotta make it a little nasty. So this is also, if you've listened to Jacob Collier's Time Alone with You, he uses a lot of very speed in that song too, but there's well, we could swim around the ocean when the octopus like when you give me that, and that's one moment where it's just sort of gloopy and deep, and so that's that's
Knocks me down into the mud.
so
Knocks me down into the mud.
those are probably just very speeded a little bit, but these are probably like a full like half an octave up, or
Knocks me down.
not that one, maybe this one.
Knocks me down into the mud.
Into the mud.
Knocks me down into the mud.
So it's like Shaquille O'Neal up in here.
Knocks me down
Yeah.
Into the mud. Knocks me down into the mud. Knocks me down into the mud.
The mud. Yeah, so I probably recorded it like way up here,
Knocks me down into the mud.
and then all together you get this like nice like.
Knocks me down into.
Shh, come on, get back down there. Quit going to minus, you jammy little so and so.
Knocks me down into the mud. Big Red creates the
Big Red. I don't think I had you either. Did I? Nope, I didn't have you. But now we have these higher harmonies as well.
Big Red. Big Red.
And then probably like a high E flat. Am I hearing that? Or E half flat now?
Big Red.
Yeah.
Big Red creates the flood. Big Red creates the flood. We may be close, but we'll never be buds.
Yeah, so another deep moment there.
But we'll never be buds. Big Red gets me out of bed, yeah.
Yeah.
But we'll never be buds.
But we'll never be bug. But we'll never be bug.
Burb. Burb.
Close, but we'll never be buds. Big Red gets me out of bed, yeah.
Yeah, I like the nice open, not major or minor. It's just.
Gets me out of bed, yeah. Me out of bed, yeah. Bed gets me out of bed, yeah. Gets me out of bed, yeah.
It's like a 9 chord there, just really nice and open sounding. And that leads us right into our instrumental section. How about that?
Big Red gets me out of bed, yeah.
So, we talk briefly about this. We have a brief little interlude, and then we get into the instrumental solo. This was not me. I intentionally left this blank because I was telling my dad about this, and usually I like to have him contribute on at least some aspect of my albums. And in this case, I thought this song could really use a brass solo. And I maybe could have scrapped together something. I'm pretty rusty on the brass. I really haven't picked it up in months, which is a bummer. I should get back into that for sure. But I could have worked up something, but I just knew he could do an infinitely better job. And so I said, like, throw some trombone in there, throw some trumpet, maybe flugelhorn. I don't really care. Just, like, come up with something and send it to me. You can make it as wild as you want, add different tracks to it. And so he sent me in some form or another all of these tracks, which he recorded in his own session. I think he was using like a plastic E-flat trombone, like a small one, and then maybe a trumpet and flugelhorn. So the first thing you're hearing is that trombone here. So here's what he sent me. That's nice, isn't it? I forget what I did to it. It already sounded pretty decent, but I definitely like kind of just made sure that it wasn't going to blow anything up on the speakers, and probably just put the same stuff on it. But there you go. There's the trombone. That's dead center. So that's pretty cool. That's just funky. And so that's what we have here. It just goes along with the other stuff. There's something really funky, man. It's right in the pocket. It's like I love when like things are slightly behind the beat. It's kind of just it's a real like it just makes you a little antsy in a good way. Yeah. So I panned these pretty hard. So let's see what we got going on. On this side, we got a trumpet. That's nice. That's splatty. So that's bass trombone. So maybe he also used like a full-size trombone as well. Yeah, so those just come in and then get out real quick. So they're tired after a long day, you know. So those are those doing the same thing except for that first note? Yep, they surely are. So you've got this nice support back here. Yeah, and so all together with those screamy notes at the beginning. I just really like that. I think it's perfect. It's exactly what I needed. It's a little like, it's kind of like, whoa, what's going on here? But it doesn't matter. It all comes together at the end in a really satisfying way. I like do 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 do. That's one of my favorite moments there. Also the da 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 da. I like how some of them go like. That's something I've been playing around with a lot. Is like ending on unison, but coming to it from different directions. It's contrary motion. Bach said it. It's super good. He wrote that on all of his sheets. He said this is super good. So we're all ending on that A. I'm just gonna call it an A flat, and you can deal with it. Or da da. So yeah. I love ending on that unison, but coming to it from different directions. That's what I'm trying to say here. So that's our instrumental instrumental section. Let's listen to it one more time, just for good measure. You can absorb all that stuff that I said. We get right back into it. So that's just perfect. Exactly what I needed for that. Provides a little break in between all the vocals. More vocals now.
Big Red hits me like the beat of a drum, and he doesn't quit till I'm overcome with that wrath, lust, and gluttony. I said, you better run from me.
Yeah. So.
Big Red hits me like the beat of a drum, and he doesn't quit till I'm overcome with that wrath, lust, and gluttony. I said, you better run from me. I said, you better run from me.
I had some fun with this. I really did.
Gluttony. I said, you better run from.
You better run from me.
Big Red hits me like the beat of a drum, and he
beat of a drum. Same thing going on here. Some very speed mixed in there. Couldn't tell you exactly where.
I said, you better run from me.
Oh, those are notes. All right, let's not get ahead of ourselves here.
To me, I said, you better run from me.
Those are so different.
Gluttony, I said, you better run from me.
So that's a lower one. Oh, come on now.
Gluttony, I said, you better run from me. To me, I said, you better run from me.
Yeah, and that's like a prepubescent one. So all together.
I said, you better run from me.
And then I thought I wanted actual notes there as well. But I love the sound of these notes, and then on top you just got these people just wailing. But
I said, you better run from me.
You actually do have like an actual dominant 7 chord there.
I said, you better run from me.
You better run from me. So I'm doing a little bit of just intonation there.
Said, you better run from me.
Just entirely by ear. But all together, I mean, come on.
Gluttony. I said you better run from me.
Better run from me. Yeah, there's that. And here's by far the most like tumultuous verse. I kind of did a similar thing in Stop at the end, where it's like, all right, enough with the dinky little call and response. It's like, let's just all go full force here, all together.
Big Red hides my pain.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention the drum, which I'm sure you heard, but yeah, hits me like the beat of a drum.
Hits me like the beat of a drum, and he doesn't.
And then I did a beat of a drum. Yeah. Anyways.
Lust and gluttony. I said.
And then some cymbals in between wrath, tss, lust, tss, glut, da-doom, da-doom.
With that wrath, lust and gluttony. I said you better run from me.
I know I haven't been talking about lyrics as much, and I might not in this series, just because, like, I don't know. I like the idea of you interpreting your own things. If you have specific questions, I'd be happy to answer them. But I will say, yeah, like I referenced the deadly sins a lot in here. Big Red is kind of supposed to represent, again, antithetical to Little Blue. Big Red is just all the negative emotions that you might have. Usually pretty much anger, but just anything that's like intrusive in your mind, on your peace, on your inner sanctity. It's just all the things in your head that you might not want to be in there. But also, like, anger kind of fuels you, but it covers up a lot of like emotions that you might need to sit with, because it's just easier to be angry. And I don't want to get too deep and philosophical here, but that's kind of the vibe I'm going for. And so I'm referencing all these deadly sins, just because I thought it was a little on the nose and fun. But yeah, so wrath, lust, gluttony. The previous one we said, what I'm supposed to do with all that sloth, envy, pride, and greed. And that's all of them. That's the 7. So here's this verse here.
Big Red hides my pain, but I'm losing my mind and I'm going insane. Big Red breaking free. I locked him away, but he found the key. Big Red, I wish you were dead.
So again, got the melody here going strong.
Big Red hides my pain, but I'm losing my mind and I'm going insane. Big Red breaking free.
Yeah, same thing, but everybody's singing on all of it.
Big Red hides my pain, but I'm losing my mind and I'm going insane.
That's good. I really like that.
Big Red hides my pain, but I'm losing my mind and I'm going insane.
So we've got that nice pedal tone.
Big Red hides my pain, but I'm losing my mind and I'm going insane.
Go.
Big Red.
Oh, we got
Red breaking free.
We got the 5th here.
Big Red hides my pain, but I'm losing my mind and I'm going insane.
That might be like my favorite part of it. Going insane.
Mind and I'm going insane.
It just
Red hides my pain, but I'm losing my mind and I'm going insane.
going insane.
Losing my mind and I'm going insane.
Going insane. Yeah, I like how that one stays like going insane, but then the top one is going insane. Just different movements at different times, different amounts of movement. And then we have this.
Big Red hides my pain, but I'm losing my mind and I'm going insane.
Losing my mind.
Red hides my pain, but I'm losing my mind and I'm going insane.
Going insane.
Losing
Going insane.
my mind and I'm going insane.
Yeah, as opposed to like
My mind and I'm going insane.
going insane.
My mind and I'm going insane.
Yeah, I just like that.
Big Red breaking free. I locked him away, but he found the key.
I locked him away, but he found the key.
I locked him away, but he found the key. Big Red, I wish you were dead.
Again, ending on that really open chord.
Big Red, I wish you were dead. That's my pain, but I'm losing my mind and I'm going insane.
And of course, just to add to all that, at the very end of going insane, I do an extra dong.
I'm going insane. Big Red,
That's just nice.
dead, breaking free.
Extra little crash on Breaking Free. This is inspired by a song that is very special to my childhood. I know it's kind of weird, but weird that this was like such a big song when I was really young, but for me. It's Break On Through to the Other Side. The Doors, I believe. Break on through to the other side. Break on through to the other side, yeah. And breaking free, I know it's different words, but I brought that energy to it. Break on through, breaking free.
Insane. Big Red, breaking free. I locked him away, but he found the key. Big Red, I wish you were dead.
And we have our last spoken verse here. The slightly different drum fill. Don't go don't. I think, right?
Big red knows just when to strike.
Yeah, so we got like the no, go away. We got the more toms, and then on the impact we have a very deep one. Just yeah. Big red something something.
Big red knows just when to strike. He told yellow and purple to take a hike. Kicked out the blue, murdered the green, and I'm left with the crime scene.
Yeah. Okay. So if you watch the music video, which I recommend, then you'll see this more clearly. But yeah, so these other colors I'm bringing in, kicked out the blue, murdered the green. Oh, that's the last. I didn't write. I didn't write the last bit of it. Which is interesting. Can you see that? You guys can maybe see some of that. Whoa! Look at that. I'm getting way too excited about that. But my stupid face is covering it. There you go. You can see it now. Nope. No, stop. My mouse. Yeah. Great. That was such an enriching thing. I'm glad I showed you that. But yeah, so we got these other colors. I'm playing with the metaphor of like these other colors represent other emotions, and big red, the anger, the rage, just kicks it all out. And you're left with the pieces. You're left with the crime scene of like, you know, I thought that was some fun imagery there. But it's perhaps the most dramatic.
Green, and I'm left with the crime scene. And I'm left with the crime scene.
And these ones are even more so.
And I'm left with the crime scene. I'm left with the crime scene.
Crime!
Left with the...
Is it you?
With the crime scene.
Yeah, and you hear that voice crack loud and clear. I just think it's funny.
I'm left with the crime scene. Big red with the crime.
We have some, you know, whatever you want to call this. Shakers, shaking. And then a little gong hit.
Crime scene. Big red.
And then we get into our last little section. So we're done with verses. So let's talk about this. We have a sort of a call and response thing going on here.
Crime scene. Big red.
So we have these guys.
Big red. Big red.
Yeah, there's a few things to talk about there, but for the most part, those guys are just doing, they're just doing that, the big red, as they were before.
I said big, 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 big red.
Yeah.
I'm seeing big red.
So no big red.
I'm seeing
big red. I left out the lowest A flat there.
Big red.
I could have put it in there. I tried to mix it up a little every time. Big red.
Big red.
And then, so we have this, which I feel like I should talk about that now. Which is one of the great things you can do now that I'm not using pitch correction, is this slowdown here. So, and you can't do this when you use flex pitch. So, you take your normal, if I were to just go back to regular fade, then it's white, and it just... Oh, what? Why are you... What? How are you still doing this? Oh. I changed you to fade. It's not going back to fade for some reason. That's peculiar to me. Anyways, if you just change it to regular fade, it fades out. You can right click it and choose slow down, and it's like that record.
Big red.
Which I think is just a nasty, like, awesome thing to do. Sparingly. You can overdo it, but I don't think I did. And then we have some more here. Oh, too far.
I said big red gets me out of bed. Big
So more slow down there.
gets me out of...
In fact, let me do it like this. Look at me soloing tracks. I can do this.
I said big red gets me out of bed.
We have this.
But I really, really, really wish he was there. But I really, really, really wish he was there. Big red hits me like the beat of a drum. Big red hits me like the beat of a drum.
That one was hard, and I'll tell you why. Have I had my metronome on this whole time? I'm so sorry.
Big red hits me like the beat of a drum. Big red hits me like the beat of a drum.
I was like, why is it all of a sudden flatter?
Big red hits me like the beat of a drum.
Because I have some doing,
Big red hits me like the beat of a drum.
and in order to do that,
Hits me like the beat of a drum.
I had to record it much higher.
Big red hits me like the beat of a drum.
Probably there.
Big red hits me like the beat of a drum.
And that is really fast to sing a low. It's early, so maybe I could do it. Big red hits me like the beat of a drum. Big red hits me like the beat of a drum. Big red hits me like the beat of a drum. It's not easy,
Big red hits me like the beat of a drum.
I said big, big, big.
but so I did that, and so it could be really low.
Big red hits me like the beat of a drum.
Yeah. So we have that, and then I have another beat of a drum.
Big red hits me like the beat of a drum. Says big, 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 big red.
So all together, this call and response thing.
Left with the crime scene. Big red. I said big red gets me out of bed. Big red. But I really, really, really wish he was dead. Big red. Big red hits me like the beat of a drum. Says big, 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 big red.
I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. I feel like I'm just sort of calling back to previous things I said during the song. But yeah, that's it. And then we do a slow sort of, not necessarily a fade out. It's just. Yeah, it's not a fade out at all. It's just. We end on one last bass note. And with that, guys, I mean, that's it, right? I mean, that's the whole song. I really like this one, and I hope you do as well. I've heard some people say this is like one of their favorites on the album, which is nice. I do think there are some other good ones. Let me come back to you here. I wouldn't say it's my favorite on the album, but as far as like original a cappella songs that I've written, this is up there. I mean, especially in this particular genre, I do think it's worlds better than Stop. Stop is nice. I mean, I don't dislike it. I still think it. Oh, it's raining. Interesting. Couldn't hear it. Yeah, I just think this stands a lot stronger to me. I like this better than Stop. But you can listen to them back to back and see what I'm talking about, and maybe you disagree. Maybe you, yeah, I don't know. I mean, but Stop did have pitch correction, and that's one thing that, like, it changes the way that it sounds. You get artifacts with it, which is not always great. Sometimes it's worth it. Like I said, I still did use it on the cherry blossom tree, under the cherry blossom tree. And when I do use it, it's much more sparing than it ever has been. Like, that's been true the past, 5 years that I've been doing this, 6 years, I guess. Is that, I not only do I think my things are getting better and better, they sound better and better, but like I'm needing less and less help, digitally speaking, which is great, and so it's like my skills actually in real life are improving at the same time as my mixing. I'm able to do it more tastefully, and so I'm not like bringing everything straight to the grid. It's just for little tweaks here and there, and I've become more attuned to like when I need to do that and when I don't. So yeah, all that to say, we've talked about Big Red. I should be able to do one again tomorrow. Honestly, I'm on a roll. Like I said, I kind of want to just get through all these. Let me check real quick what the next one's going to be. It is Middleman. That's a killer song on the album. That's like, it's a gut punch one, isn't it? But we're going to talk about that. We won't talk about the lyrics too much. Maybe just the general like theme of the song. But there's a lot musically to get into with that one, so that'll be fun. And then after that, there's 3 more. There's 4 more total that I'd like to get to. And one of them is Mask, which won't be too long of a video, since I've already done one on Mask, but I did change a bunch of stuff. So this will be fun. I'm hoping, like, let's see, if I do one a day for the next 4 days, I mean, that's math for you. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, that should work. Because I don't have anything until Tuesday. So I think we're going to do that. Mark my words. We're going to try and get one out every day. Maybe not Sunday. I might not get a chance to Sunday. But we'll figure it out. It certainly won't be months and months like it was before. But yeah, that's about it. Thank you for tuning in to Big Red. I hope you enjoy the song as I do. And I hope you've listened to the album. Watch the music video for that one. And let me know what you think. And I'll see you probably tomorrow for Middleman. Peace out.